Colton RV creates fantastic memories that will change your life forever. Have you dreamed of getting into glamping in your own RV? Colton RV can help you take that step into the future with a new or used RV. Talk with a Colton RV team member online, by phone, or in person and see hundreds of RVs, from tent trailers to motorhomes and everything in between. It's all about great selection, unequaled service, and low prices. Open late at 2 convenient locations, one in Tonawanda and one in Orchard Park, New York. Now is the time to see the future at Colton RV.
Want to take your camping to the next level? Then why not try glamping? Welcome to RV Glamping Adventures, where you can have a little glamour with your travel adventures. Please join your hosts, Neal and Kathy, as they share RV glamping information, RV park reviews, product recommendations, and so much more. Here's Neal and Kathy.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of RV Glamping Adventures with Neal and Kathy. I'm Neal.
And I'm Kathy. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. It's the week after Christmas now. The holidays are going by quickly. Now we're thinking about the new year. So we thought it would be really fun to do a show thinking about new and fresh start. We thought we would do a show about sort of refreshing your RV. Maybe it's time, maybe you've had the RV for a while and it's time for just some updating and a fresh new start with the new year. I think it's a great time. We've been thinking about resolutions and travel and all sorts of plans for next year. So we thought this would be a great time to talk about what you guys could do with your RVs in the new year.
Yeah, a lot of you guys, you've had your units for a little while. Some of you haven't. But what we wind up doing is, I don't know about, this is what I wind up doing, is there's always something a little different. Let's refresh. That time of year you might throw another coat of paint on the house. You might do some different things to refresh your house. There's some tips we're going to give you to refresh your RV.
Yeah, we have a newer model, but we've still done stuff to ours. I mean, it can be as simple as we've talked in past episodes about adding little special touches to the RV that you have, and it could be just new bed sets and towels and pillows and, runner carpets, like glamping it up. But one of my favorite things to look at on Pinterest is I see a lot actually, and I posted on our Facebook page. There's a lot out there when people are redoing their vintage RVs.
Oh, those are
great. But in that vein, so there's that whole category. But in that vein, people are updating their RVs that they have now, or they're buying used ones. You save a ton of money buying a used RV and just updating it themselves. And I love what I see. Pinterest is a great place to start.
Some of these people, the stuff we've looked at, they've just upgraded to, they're almost home quality. They go from being like a 1978 Winnebago whatever, and they turn this thing into some sort of a luxury palace.
Yeah, so I think it's talking about really getting some creative juices
really
going.
Refreshing it.
And I think it's not really a big... I think you can go to... different places, like at the RV dealerships. Some of them do some modifications and things like that.
There's companies who do these kind of...
Yeah, I think those are pretty pricey.
They're
and I
very
think
expensive.
We're coming more from a DIY angle, right?
Yes.
Is that we're on the same page here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a whole show of saying, hey, by the way, you can go to this shop and have them do this would be kind of not how we would do it.
No. So we got looking on Pinterest and started, I think, even though ours is pretty updated, you start looking at these pictures, you're I want to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Because it's sort of that standard. We've always tried to sort of upgrade or, I don't know, add some pop to. Most RVs, they're kind of, brown and beige and neutral tones, which is great. But I like to sort of infuse some pop and color to that, make it a little bit more... I don't know, zen feeling, relaxing, fun.
If anybody was able to take a look at what we've done in our RV when we did a tour of our RV of our RV, that's like a tongue twister. Yeah. But when we did a tour of it on YouTube, you can really see how we've kind of changed it around, added some color to it.
Yeah, we personalized
it. Yeah.
And then we've talked in the past about each trip. We do wall decals and themes and, do different things to add some fun to the RV. So let's talk about, what are some things that you can do, modifications and upgrades, whatever, that you could do to your RV. And, it's the new year. It's a great time to splash on a new, color or something, paint, whatever. So we've come up with some ideas for some things that you could do to modify and make your RV cooler than it already is.
I mean, it's already cool, but
Yeah.
you can, always the cool factor could go up.
I think one of the first things to start with, just going real basic, I always find, I don't think even in the new models, like I'm even thinking of ours, the biggest thing I would change first and foremost with ours right now are the window drapery.
Oh, okay. That's not what I would say.
There are always these weird, I mean, people actually have drapes in theirs,
Yes.
but in the newer models, like in ours, it has this sort of valance kind of, it's stuck to the wall, it
Yeah.
doesn't move, it makes it look very boxy.
And I find when you're sitting at the kitchen table,
Your-
the dinette,
your shoulder
your
hits it,
shoulder's
right?
hitting it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah. So I think those are real easy to just first and foremost take that off, or take off the old curtains. I even see some of the old models that have those roll up and they kind of look like, in a way they're cool because they're kind of vintagey.
Sure.
But they look like, I don't even know. You know what I'm talking about? Very, they look like placemats to me.
Oh, I know
From
what you're talking about.
1970s
I know
or
what you're talking
something.
about, yeah.
They're
all flowery and
well, there's those, but then there's the ones that look like they're sort of woven look.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They just sort of make me gag looking at them. They really do. I'm just like, what? There's so much history just in that,
Yeah.
which I can appreciate. But
for some of these things,
Yuck.
they've been around for a little while.
yeah,
you
there's
get your stuff in
there.
it.
Yeah, it's time to change those
Yeah,
out.
I agree.
So I think a real easy change, and again, you can go on Pinterest, and I think like Camping World, a lot of different places, they're selling, updated versions of things.
Oh, yeah.
But, get your DIY going, and
Yeah.
you could, really go to Target or places like that and get some new curtains or, we need our privacy, so you definitely need some kind of curtain or something.
Yeah, the blackout shades are really nice too.
Yeah,
if you can think of that.
there's some really cool ideas that I've seen on there, and it just like warms it up and makes it look, just that right there can just
That's
update.
huge.
But while you have the curtains down, I think a great look, and we've seen this all over the place, Neal, is people just bring out some paint.
I think the paint, it's the wallboard that you see in a lot of units is pretty much, from our experiences, looks the same beigeish that it's been for years.
Yeah.
And the updates we've seen on some of these Pinterest and other websites, I think I saw some on Go RVing today too, is people went out with a can of paint, painted over the wallboard. So I imagine you needed like a really good paint.
You need
and
a
some
good primer.
Really good
Like
primer.
a gripper or something like that.
Clean it off, do everything the right way. So you probably clean the walls off, degrease, and then use a really good primer and then paint. But that being said, that coat of white paint or whatever color you choose really brightens and makes it look newer.
Yeah, it just sort of refreshes it because you think over time it gets a little dingy. You're in there cooking, whatever. Just that will update it. While you got the paint out, paint the cabinets.
Oh, and that's been amazing. So
Yeah.
a lot of the RVs that we have, the older ones especially, it's all oak.
Yeah.
Everything's oak.
Easy to paint
oak,
over.
veneer, or actually oak wood. It all depends, but it's like oak, and that oak color it can be dated for some.
Yeah, I mean, if the paint alone doesn't kind of give you that pop, I love an upgrade. We did it even when we moved in the condo.
Oh, yeah, we did in
because
our
they're
kit.
just wood, and so we primed them. And you could go as far as depending on what what kind of cabinets you have.
Mm-hmm.
If they're actual wood, I think it's Winnebago has that. There's different
Some of
brands
them do, some don't.
that you might need to sand down a little bit, make sure any grease is off. Prime it, prep it really good, get a good coat of paint up there. And, I like lightening things up. That's just sort of, I think right now that's sort of what's in. I'm seeing
don't
a
go
lot
dark.
More. Well, people like that.
Well,
I
that's
mean, it's
true.
personal taste,
That's
but
true.
right now sort of what's in. I think this is even great for resale value too. If you're going to go trade it in or whatever, it's just like any house. It's your house.
It's your house.
So keep it updated.
And do a really good job on it.
Yeah, you can either, if you're going to go vintage, go vintage.
Totally.
Do it 120%.
Live
Yeah, you got to live it. You got to do
gotta
it
live
and
it.
go for it. So there's that category. I guess we're coming more from an angle of updating and giving it some fresh, color and just like a facelift.
A
I guess,
facelift,
is
yeah.
what we're talking about.
A little bit
of Botox.
Oh, nice. I was thinking of like a little modernized facelift, but
Yeah.
Botox sounds
a
good.
little Botox.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, you want to get those really good It's going to take a few coats. We've done it ourselves. But really think about a color scheme. It's always good to go and talk to somebody. If you don't, some people don't have that in them to just sort of look back and think color can be really overwhelming for people. And
Painting everything
making
one color
decisions.
could be.
Yeah. We've gotten even great advice. That's something I love. So, I mean, in another life, I think I could have been a designer. It's something I really enjoy. Color
Something
makes me
she's
happy.
really, really good at. That's
It makes me happy.
Very good at it.
But even going to like Sherwin-Williams, Home Depot, Lowe's, talking to the paint people, they know what they're talking about. And they can give you, and really when you get the swatches of paint, go with the hues they give you. Or they'll put together.
There's like a collection.
Or you cannot go wrong with that.
No.
If you want to go cooler or dark or bright, go with it, and follow your gut. It's your little space. You got to make it what makes you feel good. Because color, to me, it's about that.
Absolutely.
It's got to make you feel good.
I agree.
So when you're doing the cabinets, another thing you could do, Neal, I was thinking, is what we also did, is updating the hardware on the doors.
Oh, that's important. Yeah, that always right on its own just updates. People do that in their houses when they get a new house or move into a new house, just to update the hardware. It just adds pop to it. So if you've painted the cabinets and then you've gone ahead and changed the hardware, they look totally brand new, totally different.
Right.
I love that idea.
Right. So I think that's huge too. Something else that we have done and would recommend is updating the backsplashes.
And
either there isn't one or there's mirrors.
Well, and the mirrors,
hate the mirrors.
Yeah, but we came up with an alternative that we've even used in the house for that.
Yeah.
Which is really nice, and you know more about. What's the name of it?
I don't know the product name exactly, but I'm always about the stick-ons, which you have to watch. Like if you have, mostly they are, your stove is, you're using propane. Mm-hmm. So you really kind of have to watch what you're using on the backsplash. So I think it's safer with electric, but there is a stick-on that looks like tile. Mm-hmm. So there are some alternatives to that I really just encourage people to investigate. Probably because it's gas. We did the stick-on thing in the condo, and honestly, it just went. The walls were just bare, and it just went right on the walls,
awesome.
And it looks like tile.
Yeah.
But doing some research on that in RVing, because that's been something people have done,
mm-hmm.
it could melt. I mean, so we're thinking about safety here.
And it could also not stick to the wall because the walls get colder.
Yeah, so I'm not
possible.
sure that's the best option.
Yeah.
It's worth trying. I know we found them at Home Depot.
Glass tile sheets are
great. And
They're
if you're going to
easy.
do it, I feel like you should do it. And if you're going to have open fire there, I just feel like you should
do it
probably have
right.
the proper
You're right.
material.
You're right.
So, but it's an easy fix, easy upgrade. And like at all the the home stores that from Lowe's to Home Depot, you can go and get. It doesn't even take much in the car, as far as when you have to do the tiling. I mean, you're the tiler, Neal. You know more about this, but there's so many different products you can get now that are so easy to work with.
Yeah.
That doesn't require a lot of cutting, and the mortar you can get's real easy.
And the big thing you got to
It's a simple job, small space.
Very small space, but you also you have to think about weight too. So you want to get some products that don't add a ton of weight to the unit.
And right now, sort of what's in is all that lightweight material, glass. It's
glass tiles.
Glass tile. They're
That's
small,
huge.
and so that's not going to add much to it. So we thought that was a great idea too.
It's another great idea.
What?
The carpet.
Well, that's huge.
That's huge. So we have actually a friend of ours who bought an old RV, and I wouldn't say old, a used RV. They had a Newmar a couple years ago, and they actually had somebody replace the carpet, and that gave it a totally new,
I think
updated.
it was like a nice shade of blue.
Yeah, and they went to a nice beige Berber, and they loved it, and it worked great for them. But a lot of what we're seeing too is a lot of people are using like Pergos and stuff.
Or laminate.
Yeah.
There's so many products out there. And
Pergo's laminate, I think, right?
Well, I guess I'm thinking the stick-ons. I'm sorry.
Right.
I should specify. You could go to me, it's an easier fix. It's the stick-on tiles, and they look like the Pergo floors. And then you could go all the way with Pergo. Mm-hmm. To us, we know our limits, Neal. That would be an install.
Oh, yeah. That's somebody else.
I don't know that we could do that.
No.
And we're limited. We could pay.
Even carpet, I think you'd have to have somebody really, that's probably, unless you're really good and really handy, carpet would be a professional install as well. At least for me, it would have to be.
I'm seeing, though, on Pinterest, a lot of people are really getting rid of
the carpet.
They might keep it, and really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They might keep it up around the driver's side.
Yeah.
But the rest, where the slide out is.
Yeah, but even the new models that you buy, there's no, on the motorhomes, there's no carpet on the driver's side.
I would want no carpet
anywhere. Me too.
I love a throw rug somewhere, runner down the hallway.
It's so much easier to clean up, too.
Keeping it clean.
Yeah.
Especially if you're bringing pets.
It's just a push broom. I mean, you just sweep up after yourself.
Yeah.
Carpets, kids.
So to me, that would be, I'd be all over the stick-on thing.
Yeah.
And you think about with a lot of models, even the newer models, with the slide out, they have that be a carpet. And I always thought, what a weird look that is. Like I love a consistent look. So, and that's really what's new. When you go into homes, like an actual home or condo nowadays, and they're open concept, it's the floor goes from one room to the next.
Oh, it's just one. Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, do I like it in a
it's
bedroom?
The open plan.
Yeah, but in an RV, again, we've gone to the beach. We've gone, like, to me, how much easier, and with the pets, it's so much easier to keep something that's just, the laminate or the stick-on vinyl is what I'm trying to say. That's a better, I think, option for flooring.
The only thing, I know we're talking about the vinyl and stuff, but I think the only problem I would have with the vinyl is that it could get loose. And so that doesn't always look great. You know what I mean? They can slide a little bit with use, and then the cold. I always think about the cold. Yeah. So something like a laminate, it snaps together. It's like a floating floor.
A bit more. Yeah, but I guess I'm thinking
and nothing
more
gets
of a
underneath
slide
it.
out and making that all work. I don't know how
that's
where we draw the line.
That's the
know your
professionals.
limits.
That's the professionals.
we can't. We just know our limits and where to draw the line in the sand.
But I'll tell you, what we've seen is when people have taken out the carpet, and I saw something like a 1975 or 1985 fifth wheel. Somebody had taken the carpets out and put in the laminate flooring or whatever.
God, it was gorgeous.
It amazing.
Neal was showing me this morning, and I'm like, I want to do it. We've got a beautiful marble in ours, so
yeah, ours is great.
Ours is great.
We're not touching it.
Which is another option too. Is tiling the floor.
Yeah, you can do that.
Again, for us, that would be because that's a big space. And that'd be a big job.
Yeah, but then I think there's you have to use different grouts that are more flexible with the motion, so they don't crack. But
yeah,
that's
I definitely
all doable.
would say all doable.
You gotta look
but
at your products.
do your products, do some investigation, what would work for your unit. But I just feel like there's nothing you can't do. You could figure it out, and if you don't know how, you get someone to help you with it. Going back to the kitchen, Neal, we were talking, you jumped on the flooring, and I was thinking the countertop. Talk about a huge upgrade with that, because
that's huge.
There's so many products out there. Either you outright get, and then you're talking a new sink and faucet while you're at it, because that, updates
huge.
it immediately.
I mean, you do that in the house sometimes when you move in.
Yeah, but there's products out there, same thing as what you could buy for your house, that you can actually literally paint over it. And that's something we could do, is painting. So either you go in and you do a whole Corian or granite or whatever.
Rust-Oleum's got a really nice product.
Yeah, Rust-Oleum, and it makes it look like.
It does, yeah.
And you can really get creative with that. So that's something fun.
Yeah,
I think
that would be a
do.
huge update.
Massive update would be appliances. That's
a big one.
We are fortunate to have a newer model we have a full-size stainless steel fridge. We have a convection oven, so rather than the standard oven, which gave us more counter space. So that's something to think about when you're doing modifications. How can you add more storage?
Replace your microwave into a convection oven.
Our oven turned into a huge drawer that we keep all of our pots and pans in. Yeah. And then you've got a microwave over the stove, which we're used to in the other models we had. But that's also where we do our baking. But saving space.
Getting on the line of the appliances, if your refrigerator is not newer, but if it's working fine, you don't have issues, you really don't want to change it out. I saw something where they painted the doors on it, got rid of the wood panel look.
Right.
And that was really nice.
There's even products and we did this even actually in one of our homes. There's products out there that you can buy. It's sort of this big sticker that looks like stainless steel.
Yeah.
You can actually.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Or I love chalkboard paint.
Chalkboard paint's good.
How fun is that? Yeah. That you could do that anywhere, even on a backsplash, leave notes. The fridge, there's so many models that are just that wood panel look. You do a little primer on that, get the chalkboard paint. Fun, you could,
if it's working great.
Yeah.
Why replace it?
Why replace it? So there's modifications you can even do to that just enhances the look, and I think that's really fun.
I think that's a great idea. I like the chalkboard paint idea.
Yeah. So there's, I think, kitchen. I think we've covered a lot there. There are other things I've seen people do. They added pull-out trays, that they wanted, where it just sort of pops up and gives you a little bit more counter space. Yep. But I don't know. You really have some fun with this, and like I said a million times already, Pinterest will just.
Oh, totally.
God, you get lost in Pinterest land. Figuring out what you could do to your place.
Oh, you should see her face sometimes. I'm like, what are you thinking about? And she's like, I'm on Pinterest. And it's like one thing leads to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's all fascinating. I mean, it's amazing what people can do when they think about it.
Yeah. I've seen the modifications getting more into electronics, updating that. So,
that's a whole thing.
There's the older models have the bigger TVs. Like, talk about extra
big,
weight.
Heavy
You don't,
TV, yeah.
I've seen them take those out, put a flat screen up on a different wall, and that cabinet that where the TV was, They've added a little shelf to it, and it became another little storage
Yeah,
space.
that's
Painted
great.
the wood.
I saw that picture. That
right?
looked great.
Yeah, that was really
that
cool.
looked great.
So really rethinking the space, and why not, copy other people's ideas to, give you some new ideas, fresh ideas, and sort of standing back and looking at your space and what can we do different with it. Of course, we've talked in the past about new runners, new pillows.
All that.
How about new brand? Taking out the bench, the typical bench or table that you have.
Yep.
Updating that, especially if in a travel trailer or fifth wheel. I think the same can apply to, all the other Class A, B models and all that.
Either reupholster it or
take it out. The couch, if you can't reupholster it, you can even go to IKEA and get a replacement for that.
Yeah.
They're cheaper than what I've seen in any of the catalogs for new RV. Just get the specifications and go find that size and put them in. Now, you're talking a little difference there in dealing with, safety belts and things like that.
Right.
So depending if you have kids or not, you might want to go with a standard model.
But there's a lot of companies, though, that do manufacture RV updates. So they already have, new couches and stuff that are designed to fit into the RV.
Yeah.
So, that's even an option for you there to just, and they have the safety belts, and probably they're ready to be bolted to the floor.
Yeah. But if you don't have folks traveling with you while you're in the driver and passenger seat up front, you can. I mean, you can bolt. You want to bolt these things down. You're a moving vehicle, but you can save a few bucks there.
Yeah,
maybe.
Especially like in a travel trailer or a fifth wheel that you're not supposed to ride in the back anyways.
Right.
That's dangerous. Don't ride in the back of your travel trailer or fifth wheel.
Yes, that is absolutely
Bad
legal, and I
idea.
think every state. So another thing I was thinking I just go back to us moving into the condo. One of the first things that we did was updating things like the lighting.
Oh, the lighting.
And I've seen in fifth wheels, travel trailers, things like the ceiling fans. Updating those because that is really a tell all of era. To me.
Yeah, totally.
You can see
It's
one,
dated.
and I know that's 1987.
Going back to the lighting that you were talking about, if you walk into an older model, the lights actually get hot.
Yeah.
And they actually take up more energy. So if you go to an LED, you can have a nice cooler fixture. Your air conditioner won't work as much with the lights on, and you'll also have a it's safer. You won't burn your finger. Remember you got that burn?
Yeah, I
one
burned
time?
my finger.
It was pretty bad.
I touched a light. When you don't touch something, I did.
No, she thought it was one of push button light to turn it off, and it
was
wasn't.
horrifying. Yeah,
and that was a bad burn.
Yeah.
So and then the RV gets hot. So the LED lights are a great thing. We've actually in our condo changed all the can lights in the ceiling to the LEDs, and our electric bill went down.
Yeah, but I was even thinking even face plates, for your switches and your plugs, all those kinds of things. Yeah. Easy electrical fixes. Couple bucks, you could fix those up
absolutely.
too. Moving back, let's say into the bathroom. What would you do in the bathroom? I've saw some cool stuff on Pinterest today too.
Well, always the paint and stuff. I think a backsplash around the sink.
I love when people just outright painted it up.
Yeah,
boom.
Paint
put
it.
in, took out the old toilet, put a new one in. Is it time for a new one? Think about that. How long have you been dealing with the same toilet? It might be time for a bit of an upgrade in that.
I think a backsplash,
maybe something more comfortable.
A lot of RVs that we've seen don't have that very nice backsplash in the back, so you're always worried about getting toothpaste and stuff on it. So spend a couple
just
bucks.
like you did the backsplash in the kitchen, you could get a couple extra pieces of whatever. And
that one I think you can actually use the
there.
sticker because you're not worried about it melting.
Exactly. Yeah.
That could work out really nice
and give it sort of that that glamping look that we always go for. And then what we've done, the shower.
We've
upgrading
changed
that.
the shower head.
Changing the shower head, getting a new better stream of water, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you've got curtains on yours, fresh curtains, new, a lot of stuff in there. There are some that have carpet.
Oh yeah.
So laminate floor in there too.
And then the other thing, I've seen a couple, and you showed me pictures where they have just your standard carpet rod. They have the curtain rod that comes out a little bit and gives you just a little bit more room.
Yeah, they're always pretty tight. So and we've got big kids, so. And then also thinking in there, just like in the kitchen, new kitchen sink, faucet, maybe you can update the countertop if that's either getting a new one in or painting it over, like what you were saying with that Rust-Oleum product. That was a great idea too. What?
I was going to say, what would you do outside?
Well, just going back into bedrooms and stuff, before we hit the outside, we talked about new bedding and things like that. So painting the cabinets, that's sort of a throughout the thing. I've even seen people do some faux headboards in the back.
Oh, that looks nice.
Storage
I saw that.
headboards.
Yeah.
New side tables, updating those.
Yep. Or even just paint them.
Yeah. And just
put a new top on them.
Getting just a different look going on. Outside, I don't know. I think that's getting into more heavy duty stuff. I guess when I think outside, I think adding more fun things to, because that's like another room to me. So adding more.
I just think the awning.
Awning is huge.
I would say if you were going to do anything on the outside, or if you have slide toppers and the awning, sometimes just even the colors, you go with a nicer color or something that looks a little newer. And I've actually thought, and this is a big one, this is probably a big expense too, but for some older model RVs, you can get it wrapped.
Right.
You can get the graphics and get it wrapped, and it gives it a whole fresh new look. I mean, that's probably a big cost. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's
a big one.
That's not necessarily a DIY.
No.
But if you're thinking, while you're thinking,
right,
you can think big, I guess. At that point, I think I'd be ready for a new one.
I think so too. But you could sell this one and actually make some money off of it.
Well, I even know people that how they make some money on the road is they get it wrapped for companies. It's a form of advertising. Yeah. So, hey, make money on the road. I don't know if you're ready to do that and don't mind having some big logo on. Could be a way to make some money while you're on the road.
Absolutely, and it looks nice.
Yeah.
So.
You're making a little living paying for some gas. So those are some of the ideas we have. If you've got any that you've done or any tips, we sure would love to hear about it.
Yeah, email us at rvglampingadventures@gmail.com, and also check us out on the web at www.rvglampingadventures. Love hearing from you guys. Have a great, happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And be safe.
Fishing, hunting, boating, and the rest of the great outdoors 24/7, 365 on Reno Viola Outdoors Radio. Download the free Reno Viola's Outdoor Radio app or visit WRVORadio.com online.